Why is your ex gaslighting you? Is it possible that you're just losing your mind and not remembering things correctly? Or are they actually lying about things and distorting the truth for some reason? This is where things get a little bit tricky and complicated. Please watch through to the end because we're going to be talking about why this happens, and we're also going to be talking about what you can do about it as well too. Anyway, with that being said, let's get into it. Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life. Now, if you're not familiar with what the term gaslighting is, it's essentially a term where someone says something to make you doubt yourself. They're sort of revising history, revising the truth, and saying something that's not how you remember it. And that's essentially what it is. I'm not going to go into the whole history about it and why it's called gaslighting. I mean, there's other videos that'll tell you that. But my first experience with this was when I was, I think, in first grade. Me and one of my friends named Paul, we were just, doing something. And I remember he said something or something like that. And, it was, I don't know, a week or so later, the topic came up again. And I said, hey, do you remember when you said that last week? And he said, no, I never said that. And it just kind of like hung with me because it was the first time that I ever remembered someone actually lying to my face. It's one thing to lie to someone who wasn't there and just be like, yeah, I didn't take that cookie from the cookie jar or something. I don't know how it disappeared. But for someone who was actually there, who had the same lived experience, and then to just have that friend turn to you and say, yeah, that never happened. That was very strange to me. And I just remember thinking about it for a long time. But anyway, that's kind of an example of gaslighting. And if your ex is gaslighting you, either about something that happened, about your breakup, or about something that happened, regarding some other event that happened in your lives or something like that, here's what's going on. There's a couple things that could be going on. First of all, you have to understand that they want to see themselves as a good person, doing the best things that they can do in life. We all want to see ourselves this way. And so oftentimes in order to do this, we need to sort of revise history a little bit, right? Now, hopefully we're all, rooted in the truth, and we're all looking at things and doing our best to strive to be a good person. But, when you look back at the past, it's hard to really say, hey, I don't know if I'm making the right choice. It's really hard to break up with you. I don't know if it's going to be the right thing or not. There's a lot of good qualities about you. There's a lot of bad qualities about you too. And, if we make a pro and con list, I don't know. It's kind of like 51-49 or something. I just don't know what I'm going to do. This is a really hard choice. Let's break up. That's probably how most people's experience of a breakup is, if we're being honest with ourselves. But it's so difficult to live with ourselves in that frame of mind, just like how I talked about in the last video. They need to see you as someone worth breaking up with. They would like to see you as someone worth breaking up with. It'd be so much easier if they could just see you as someone worth breaking up with. When you have to turn to your friends and your family and everyone, and you change your Facebook status and everyone says, hey, why'd the two of you break up and everything? It's so hard for them to say, yeah, it's just such a complicated thing. I just wasn't feeling it. It's so much easier if they're just like, I couldn't trust them. They were a terrible person, whatever, right? It's easier to live with yourself if you can see your partner that way. And so they want to see themselves as a good person because, when you sit down and you break up with someone and you cause them to cry and you cause them to have all sorts of feelings and everything like that, it makes you feel guilty. And if you feel guilty and you're sort of like 51-49, like I was talking about, you're like, I don't know, this is a really complicated situation. You got good qualities, you got bad qualities, I'm conflicted, I don't know. It's a really difficult spot to be in. And when you actually follow through and break up with someone, you're just like, geez, am I overreacting? I don't know. Maybe we can make things work. But it's a lot easier if, you're someone worth breaking up with. And that could potentially be why your ex is gaslighting you, why they are remembering things differently. It's not necessarily that they're trying to gaslight you, although they could. We'll get to that in a little bit. But they're probably just trying to do something to see themselves as a good person, right? They just don't want to think of themselves as the kind of person that goes out of their way to hurt other people and to cause them pain and to cause them heartache and all that sort of stuff. Now let's go ahead and get into some of the more nefarious reasons why your ex might be gaslighting you. Before we do that though, if you do like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button for this YouTube channel. It helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. It helps us to share these videos with more people. And also please make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon as well too, so that you can get notified when we publish and upload new content. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and continue. Another reason why your ex might be gaslighting you as well, they could be a narcissist. Narcissists are, and these are very interesting people. You know, if you've never heard of narcissistic personality disorder or anything like that, these are very interesting people. But these are people that have a very, very hard time seeing themselves in a poor light. And so what they'll often do is they'll recontextualize it so that either they are the good guy or the victim. Okay, because they have a hard time seeing themselves as the villain or someone who, you know, made the wrong choice or something. What they might do is they might just sort of project onto you, you know, all of the problems, all of the challenges, all of the shortcomings, etc. And that allows them to feel better about themselves, because then they're able to say, you know, yeah, you know, you were the villain. You know, I'm the innocent victim, or I'm the good guy here, or whatever. You know, obviously that's not cool. I think that we should all own up for whatever we did and try to stay, you know, rooted in reality. It's fine if we have different understandings of reality. You know, if I say, you know, yeah, I think the relationship ended, you know, this time when we had this big fight and we said we weren't going to talk anymore, but you think the relationship ended like a week later when we said, like, hey, let's actually break up, and there's maybe a misunderstanding like that's understandable. But if we are not able to stay rooted in reality and your ex is feeding you something that you know deep down didn't happen, first of all, don't doubt yourself. Understand that your experience is your experience, and yeah, we can, you know, split hairs and maybe misunderstand things. That's fine. But if you know that you said something, or if you know that they said something, don't let them convince you otherwise. Okay. Remember, your truth is real, and enforce boundaries when you need to. You know, narcissists, yeah, I mean, this is obviously getting into a topic for another video, but narcissists, they are a very interesting class of people in and of themselves. And I don't recommend that you actually be in a relationship with them. So, hey, if they're your ex and they are a narcissist and they're gaslighting you, okay, great. Create as much distance as possible and try to get into a great relationship with someone who's not a narcissist. And consider yourself lucky that the relationship is over and that you don't have to be in a relationship with them anymore. But, you know, most likely if they were a narcissist, you probably would have experienced some of these things in your experience with them. You know, the gaslighting, the lying, the broken promises, all that sort of stuff. You probably would have experienced this in other ways in your relationship with them, okay? But that could definitely be another reason why they're doing this. So we have the sort of normal human reason of, like, you know, geez, this is so hard. It would be so much easier if, like, you were just a jerk, and maybe if I just exaggerate something a little bit. There's that, and then there's also the narcissistic way as well too, where it's just like, you know, no, I never said that. No, you was just mostly totally going crazy or something like that, right? That's obviously not cool. Anyway, I hope this helps you understand why your ex might be gaslighting you. If you do want some more relationship-saving advice, tips, and strategies, please make sure you check out our email newsletter. It's totally free, and you get tips, advice, and strategies to help you get the great relationship you're looking for. Not only that, but we're actually human beings on the other side of this newsletter. So if you ever have any questions, or you're ever going through something and you just want to talk to someone, just hit the reply button to any email that you get from us, and just let us know what's going on, and, you know, someone on our team will receive it and get back to you. And if it makes sense for us to suggest something to you, we'll go ahead and do that. But if nothing else, we'll just be a nice listening ear, a nice sounding board. Anyway, you can find our email newsletter over at modernlove.life/newsletter. You can also find it in the link down below in the description box. Anyway, with that being said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.